He lit slow-burning fuses in his beard to look like a demon. He blockaded entire cities. He fought like the devil himself and vanished in a blood-soaked storm of cannon smoke and steel. Edward Teach, Blackbeard, wasn't just a pirate. He was terror incarnate. But the truth is darker than the legend. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the most feared pirate in history wasn't just a man. He was a message, carved into flesh and drowned in rum. Welcome to the dark underbelly of the golden age of piracy. This is the real story of Edward Teach, a school teacher turned monster, a calculated terror machine who rewrote the rules of fear at sea. Forget Jack Sparrow. This isn't a tale of rum and charm. This is about raw power, psychological warfare, and how one man used spectacle, brutality, and boldness to bend the seas to his will. And if you think you know Blackbeard, you probably don't know a damn thing. Let's start where it gets uncomfortable. Nobody really knows who Edward Teach was before he became Blackbeard. Born in Bristol, England, sometime around 1680, he was literate, a rarity among pirates, and possibly from a merchant family. But sometime after arriving in the Caribbean, he became something else entirely. He wasn't born evil, he chose it. His transformation began when he joined the crew of pirate Benjamin Hornigold around 1716. Hornigold saw something in Teach: intelligence, ruthlessness, and ambition. Within a year, Blackbeard was commanding his own ship, and he wanted more, a lot more. Blackbeard wasn't a brute. He was a tactician. He captured a massive French slave ship, La Concorde, and turned it into his flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, 40 guns strong, a floating war machine. This wasn't a pirate looking for loot. This was an empire builder. He built a fleet, not a crew, a fleet. With over 300 men at his command, he carved a bloody path through the Caribbean and the American colonies. In 1718, he blockaded the entire port of Charleston, South Carolina. No one could leave. No one could enter. He demanded a chest of medicine in exchange for the release of hostages, and got it. Who does that? A madman? No, a showman. Blackbeard was psychological warfare in human form. He'd braid cannon fuses into his beard, light them, and let the smoke curl around his face like some hell-spawned creature. It wasn't for fun. It was to crush your will to fight before a shot was fired. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. There was no honor among thieves. The so-called pirate code was flexible at best. Pirates were democratic, sure, until a man like Blackbeard walked in. He'd punish disobedience with marooning or mutilation. He drank heavily, ran his ships like iron machines, and used terror as both a weapon and a brand. He even staged executions just to make a point. He'd shoot his own men in the leg just to remind them who was in charge. But they followed him. Why? Because under Blackbeard, they won. They got rich. They got feared. And in a time when most men lived and died as peasants, that kind of power was worth the blood. But no empire lasts forever. In mid-1718, Blackbeard ran Queen Anne's Revenge aground off the coast of North Carolina. Some say it was an accident. Others believe he did it on purpose, to divide the loot and cut ties with his larger, harder-to-control fleet. This marked a shift. Blackbeard wasn't just looking to raid ships anymore. He was looking for a way out. He took a royal pardon from Governor Charles Eden, even married a local woman. But don't get it twisted. He didn't go straight. He just got smarter and more dangerous. Operating out of Ocracoke Island, he became a ghost, slipping between legal protection and piracy, selling stolen goods under the table, keeping his fleet small, fast, brutal. He was the boogeyman in every sailor's story. Enter Lieutenant Robert Maynard, a British naval officer with a mission from Virginia's Governor Alexander Spotswood. Kill Blackbeard. No trial, no mercy. Maynard tracked Blackbeard to Ocracoke and launched a surprise attack on November 22nd, 1718. The battle that followed is the stuff of nightmares. Blackbeard's ship, Adventure, was outgunned, but the man fought like a beast. He charged Maynard's ship, boarded it, and unleashed hell. They fought hand to hand, swords clashing, pistols firing at point blank. Blood soaked the deck. Blackbeard was shot 5 times, stabbed more than 20, and he kept fighting until finally Maynard's men brought him down. They chopped off his head, hung it from the bow of the ship, and threw his body overboard. Legend says his headless corpse swam around the boat 3 times before sinking. Blackbeard died, but the legend metastasized. They say his treasure is still buried somewhere in the Outer Banks. People still dive the wreck of the Queen Anne's Revenge looking for gold or ghosts, but the real treasure is the legacy of fear he engineered. Hollywood made him a character. Historians call him misunderstood, but make no mistake, Blackbeard wasn't a myth. He was a man who knew how to turn violence into theater and theater into control. He showed the world that sometimes image is more powerful than the sword, that fear, properly weaponized, can rule without a crown. And for a brief, blood-soaked moment, Blackbeard ruled the world. So now you know the truth. Not the romanticized pirate with a bottle of rum, but the real Blackbeard. A violent tactician, a master manipulator, a man who bent the world to his will using smoke, blood, and fire. History remembers the victors, but it never forgets the monsters. If you were gripped by the story of Edward Teach, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more deep dives into history's darkest chapters, and leave a comment telling us what legend or forgotten figure we should uncover next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side.